They gone away. When you're not around, I feel amazed.
Michael Brown, that was an Akata. His daddy is an Akata. And it's a shame, because his dad, so he was just like destined. I always said any celebratory Come Guzzler Harris by these mammies is all fake and phony. Because if any of these mammies supported that whore.
Nation, one nation, but joy cometh
Come
in the
on,
morning.
Joe!
We will get through this.
We gonna get through this together, y'all.
Together.
Ooh, Joe, we gonna get through this together. Oh yeah. No, y'all ain't even considered. Y'all ain't even in the boat. What's up, everyone? I'm Axel of Axetruth.com, and this is where I cut through the bullshit. And I am about to cut through some bullshit right now. All video, sound, and music used during this broadcast falls under fair use. Fair use is allowed for the purpose of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe on copyright under 17 USC 107. Now, before I start, I will let you know that I will be live tonight on YouTube. Doing my Wednesday night Bible study. Basically, we're going to be it's not the show don't have any format, really. We're going to start off just basically reading scripture, and I'll be taking phone calls. It will be nothing political. It will strictly be reading the living word and us talking about the living word, the Bible. So that will be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can join in. God spoke to me and said I should do this because every time I've been reading a lot of the scriptures lately, and every time I go into that book and read it, it speaks to me, and it's amazing. And I always how when you read something and you see it and you get so much out of it, you want to turn to someone and say, "Look what I just read," and talk about what you read and what it means to you. And that's what basic Wednesday night Bible study is about. So and it's not to talk about a person's different religions. Anyone can be a part of this. It's about just reading the word of God, the living word, and talking about good things and the use of it and what it means to you and what are you getting out of it, because we're in a spiritual battle right now, and I am looking forward to it. So I will be live tonight on YouTube doing that show, but there will be nothing political in it at all. We're going to try our best. I'll make sure my audience knows we're not going to talk about anything politics. We talk about the signs of the times in reference to the book. Okay, anyway, so let me get into this content right here. If you notice my thumbnail, you'll see a Quinnipac poll there. A Quinnipac poll about Joe Biden's approval rating right here. So let's look at this. All right. Do you approve of Joe Biden's, do you approve or disapprove of the way Joe Biden is handling his job as president? When I saw this, I was floored. But I wasn't surprised, because I've said a lot of things about the shine in America, the shines that are on the left, the indoctrinated, controllable shines. And I've always used to say that they're politically, that the shine, black Americans, are basically politically bankrupt. They don't know anything about politics. Only thing they know is they're black, and they vote Democrat, and racism, and white supremacy, slavery, the KKK, which all that is Democrat, Jim Crow, Democrat, all that is that. But yet, for some reason, they align themselves with the party that they have so much to talk about when it comes to their past grievances. But let's get back to the poll here, and then I'll get into some comedy too as well. You look at the approval rating from white people, 29%. Hispanics, 19%. I'm going to say that again. Hispanics, 19% of them approve of Joe Biden's performance as president. The largest minority group in the country, Hispanics. The group that which the Democrat Party is really trying to cater to. They're not falling for the okie doke, and they're not going to allow the Democrat Party to do them like they did the Shine. But look at here, the Shine, 61%. 61% of blacks approve of Joe Biden's job performance as president. Only 28% disapprove. In Arizona, there was another poll, just in Arizona, right here. It says, right here it says, do you approve of President Biden? The overall is 36% to 63% disapprove. Men, 32% of men think approve of his performance. 40% of women. 33% of white people, of whites in Arizona, but 67% of blacks in Arizona approve of it, and 39% of Hispanics only give them a 39% approval. While 59% of them disapprove, only 31% of blacks disapprove. 65% of whites disapprove. So, basically, all I'm saying is slavery is a choice. Just like Kanye West said. When you hear about 400 years, that sounds like a choice. And I remember when he said this, and he got a lot of flack, and a lot of people had so much to say about that and thought it was such a coon response and all this because, black people are so hyper-focused on slavery. Let me get my camera right. What the hell is going on here? Okay. They're so hyper-focused on slavery that that's their main concern about everything. Everything reverts back to slavery. Everything has to do with slavery. And everything has to do with slavery, racism, and white supremacy. So they vote for the party, the Democratic Party, but yet their grievances stay the same from year to year. Slavery, white supremacy, racism. It's the same grievance from election to election, and they play them on that same emotion. They put out a new. They always have in an election year. The Bagels put out a new movie, either an oppression movie or a Jim Crow movie or a slavery movie, or may put out two of them in the year of an election. And this year they're gonna put out. They have put out Till. I'm coming back with a commentary on Till, and it's very interesting on what I got to say about it. People who are used to my live stream, they have heard me speak about Emmett Till before and that situation. Okay, so let me go. Okay, so we're back to this now. I'm confused because we get a Quinnipac poll saying that blacks overwhelmingly approve of Joe Biden's performance with this inflation and high gas, and it's so funny because I kind of believe that because of the fact that we have a lot of Biden supporters that are black who are saying we just got to get Trump out of there, get him out of there. Now he's out of there, and you could talk to a black person like I did to one of my friends, and he told me he said I have to admit I did have more money in my pocket when Trump was in office, but we had to get him out of there. Slavery is a choice, just like Kanye West said.
I don't think people necessarily understand what happened last week with the Make America Great Again hat. What are you trying to do with the message you're sending?
Well, it was really just my subconscious. It was a feeling I had, like people were taught how to think, we're taught how to feel. We don't know how to think for ourselves. We don't know how to feel for ourselves. People say feel free, but they don't really want us to feel free. And I felt a freedom in, first of all, just doing something that everybody tells you not to do. I just love Trump. That's my boy. Like, you know, it's like so many rappers. You'll look at a video of Snoop Dogg loving Trump, but then he get in the office and now they don't love him. Like, Trump is one of rap's favorite people, right?
But we talk about this, that before he was elected president, people in hip hop, it was an in thing to put Donald Trump in your rhyme somewhere.
And by the way,
Right.
I am in hip hop, but I'm not just in hip hop. I'm a black person in the black community, but I'm not just that. I feel like one thing is people try to minimize me to artists, hip hop, black community. Yeah, I'm always gonna represent that, but I also represent the world. When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? You know, like, it's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery goes too direct to the idea of blacks. It's like slavery, Holocaust Jews, slavery is blacks. So prison is something that unites us as one race, blacks and whites being one race. That we're the human race. Do you feel that I'm feeling?
Okay, now we're gonna cut that off right there, because that's when they bring out the puppet for the Illuminati to come out there and start saying, you know, to tell him how black people are in so much pain, and they're dealing with so much racism and there's so much oppression going on. You know, all these made up lies that this person likes to portray and put out there, but yet they work on the, you know, and it's just, they earn that title. They earn it. It is what it is. I'm not backing up off of it. Crimson Cure said it too about the mammy. They are mammies. They always have been, and that's all they're going to be. But when it comes to, well, he said slavery is a choice. Look at these shines now. The economy is, we're going into a recession, possibly depression, but they're okay. They're happy. They approve of that. They approve of these high gas prices. I just went and got 5 gallons of gas because I don't let my tank get down very low because I just don't want to see that huge price of filling my tank up. And I got 5 gallons of gas to put me on full, and it was $21. It used to cost me $28 to $32 to fill my car up under Trump. But see, the American shine, they're silent. You can't ask them, you know, it's so funny when my friend said that he had more money under Trump, in his pocket under Trump. I said, well, what doesn't bread and butter issues mean something to you? Shouldn't that be the most thing, shouldn't that matter to you most? Your financial state? What keeps your stability? Not your feelings based on the fact that the media told you he was bad. Because, you know, the funny part about it, I started listing off the things that Trump did when he was in office for black people, for the black so-called community. There's no other president who's ever done anything like that since I've been alive. And prior to that, because no party has to do anything for a particular race, but black people seem to think they do. And they think they're going to get that. Well, they got exactly what Trump gave them, or what he could possibly do. That you know, he funded the HBCUs and started opportunity zones, which really didn't work really well because of the fact that, you know, when you open up businesses in those urban areas, they get robbed and broken into, and they get ran out. But it doesn't matter. You can't really, you know, other than that. But let me get to this so I can close this video out. The U.S. They need to make up their mind. The Bagels need to make up their mind on what kind of message they want to put out here. Because on USA Today, let me do a share screen right here. It says Black America is suffering disproportionately in Biden's inflation nation. It's time for change. Black America is suffering disproportionately from inflation, and Democrats are the blame. This is what the USA Today is, and this is written by Daquan Bruce. So obviously Daquan Bruce is a African Americans, because the name Daquan sounds just like one of the ghetto names. I can't read the whole article because they want you to subscribe, I guess. And I'm not paying a bagel on paper to read that crap. But it says a recent report from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York confirms that too many of us already know Bidenomics is breaking the economic backs of Black America. The June report found that Blacks and Hispanics are seeing higher rates in inflation than the national average, adjusted for spending levels, and the inflation rate for Black Americans was 0.2 percentage points higher than the national average. For Hispanics, it was roughly 0.06 points higher than the national average. Okay, so the Hispanics, as we saw when I showed the poll, they are pretty much politically educated on when they're asked a simple question as, do you approve of Joe Biden's performance? They looking at their wallets. They're looking at everything they have to pay, what they have to buy. I showed a video on my podcast, on my live stream a while back, where a food truck owner and a Hispanic food truck owner was talking about the price of avocados and what he's paying now for them. And you know, they use that a lot in Hispanic cuisine, along with tortillas, everything. You know, and he said it's much higher, chicken, beef. And he says it's hard for him. He has to raise his prices, but he don't want to raise it too much because he can raise it too much where he'll lose business. But then he's not even clearing enough profit. He's barely getting by based on if he's getting by at all. He may just be breaking even with his expenses and what he's charging for the food, and how can he pay his bills? He probably barely can pay his bills. But under Trump, when the economy was in the best shape this country has ever seen, but the media was telling you every day to hate Trump, to hate his, you know. And my thing, this video is not about getting someone to support Trump. This is about the facts of the matter of how the economy was and what actually went on in his 4-year presidency, while the media told you one thing, but in actuality, in reality, you was experiencing a different thing when it came down to bread and butter issues, the money in your pocket. And now here we are, fast forward with the President Joe Biden, and you have hyperinflation, high gas prices, high fuel costs, that flips off into high energy costs, your energy, you know, high power bills. You know, everything is raised. We have a rental crisis in this country and a housing crisis in this country. And the border's wide open. We're letting everybody in. And we're supposed to have a space for them. But we have homeless Americans who can't even find a place to live because they can't afford it. Put your comments below and tell me what you think about this. Slavery is a choice. And the Americans shine. They choose it. They love it. They bask in it. And then they want to complain about their oppression. They love oppression. If they didn't have oppression, they wouldn't have anything. If they didn't have imaginary racism, you know, because when I talk about, and please do not take it as if I'm saying racism doesn't exist. It does exist. It exists on every front. Black people are racist. Some of the most racist people ever. You know, but you can be that way. People can be racist. They don't have to like you. And they can dislike you for whatever reason they want. And there's complaining about it's not going to change a damn thing. What someone thinks about you has nothing to do with how you progress in life and where you're going, because no one's holding you back from anything. Only thing that holds you back is your mentality, a slave mentality. And that's why Kanye said slavery was a choice. And slavery is a choice. You choose to think, to limit yourself. You choose to say you can't do something based on the color of your skin. You choose to buy into that, and then you want them to teach that in school, that you are oppressed or you are less of because of the color of your skin, and a certain set of people in this country are better than you because of the color of their skin. And you have these people and their Sambo sons out there championing and pushing for CRT to be taught in schools. Again, back to my original point, black people in America are politically bankrupt. Put your comments below. Tell me what you think about this poll. Are you surprised, shocked? And if you're going to join me tonight, welcome for our Bible study, Bible reading tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great day. Be blessed, everyone. Take care.